The U.S. doesn't care if chaos reigns over Hong Kong. The U.S. wants to see chaos in Hong Kong and use it to pressure China. But Beijing has a responsibility to ensure peace, stability, and development in Hong Kong. If there were no longer other options, then this military option would have to be used. And at that point, reactions from the U.S. or the West would matter very little.
You've been increasingly reinforcing the notion of a U.S. instigated color revolution in Hong Kong. What's your proof of that?
Nancy Pelosi and John Bolton have recently made inflammatory remarks. They are telling Hong Kong society that you've become a model for democracy for the world. I was in Tiananmen Square during the 1989 protests. I was a student in the square, and we listened to the voice of America every day. It was immensely encouraging when we heard U.S. leaders say such things. Now, how could you say that the U.S. bears no responsibility for what's happening in Hong Kong? When it comes to unrest on the streets, they need spiritual support, incitement, encouragement. That's exactly what the U.S. and the West are offering, and in a very deliberate and intense way.
Global Times was among the first media outlets to publish videos of the People's Armed Police Force congregating in Shenzhen by the Hong Kong border. And also you've been writing things like, it's time for reckoning in Hong Kong. So are you preparing the public for a military crackdown by China in Hong Kong?
We obtained the video and believe that the amassing of the People's Armed Police soldiers was meant to send a strong signal. It was obviously a clear warning to the perpetrators of violence in Hong Kong. That was our analysis. You would have drawn the same conclusion in my position. Could we call it just a regular exercise? That'd be insincere. No one would believe us, and we would lose credibility.
Your reporter Fu Guohao was captured and restrained by protesters in Hong Kong. Why do you think he became a target?
Many mainland journalists feel threatened in Hong Kong. They feel radical protesters are very hostile towards them. Normally, when they are asked about their identity, they tend to be vague to avoid trouble. It's been a common strategy adopted by mainland journalists, not just Fu Guohao. He didn't try to deceive anyone.
Western media pay a lot of attention to what Global Times says because your tone, your coverage tends to be cheekier, angrier, just a lot more interesting than most traditional Chinese state media outlets. Is that a deliberate choice on your part to get the Chinese government's message across on the global stage?
We say things out loud. You could call us radical or nationalistic, but we reflect true sentiments in Chinese society. You could learn the truths better through us. That's our appeal. And that's why Western media likes to quote us. Some of the criticisms against me are a reflection of my debate with Western media and values. And I don't mind them. I want to promote progress in China and preserve China's national interests. If I become a controversial figure because of this, so what?
They videoed his death instead of helping him.
Police say some of the final moments of 16-year-old Cassine Morris's life were recorded on cell phones and streamed on social media.
Kids stood here and didn't help Cassine. They would rather video this event.
Police say dozens of people watched an unarmed Morris get stabbed earlier this week outside of a strip mall in Nassau County, New York, and did nothing to help.
There was several kids here. There's got to be about 50, 60, 70 kids here. We have a handful of kids that have come forward that have identified subjects involved in this. There is definitely more.
Morris was taken to a hospital where he later died. Investigators say the fight Morris was involved in was over a girl.
It's over a common girl and a perception of who she might be dating or who she might be hanging with.
Homicide detectives are now urging and warning witnesses to come forward.
You need to get out in front of this. After I put handcuffs on you is not going to be the time to be helpful for you.
Officials say police presence has now been beefed up around the school and the area where the fight took place. Nassau County put out a statement on the stabbing saying, quote, "If you see someone in serious danger, please use your phone to get help, not likes and shares."
You guys took my brother away from me and my family.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.